Hello, everyone. Jesus Christ,
That's
that's a open, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
absolutely. Do you know what I mean? Enjoy that through your headphones or through your
Yeah,
speakers.
that's Disturbed.
That's it. Ooh, wah.
Ooh,
How you doing?
yeah, all right. Not
Yeah.
too bad.
No,
Yeah. Huh?
I don't know how Dan is. Is he all right?
No, Dan's missing again. But like last week, I'm sure he'll turn up probably about 5 past.
Yeah, he'll be here. He'll be here. Yeah. So today's episode, I thought we'd do a bit of a spooky-ish
Oh,
one. I've got
ghosts.
some ghost stories.
The ghosts.
Got a couple of interesting stories to start off with, not necessarily ghost stories, but well, I like
Oh,
to start off with a bit of intrigue, you know.
okay. What we got?
Yes, I'm going to go in straight in for this. Just put 4,500-year-old chamber discovered inside the Great Pyramids in Egypt.
Oh, wow.
I'll put it on the screen so people can see. Now, when I put this up, like this looks like the sort of Blair Witch kind of. You expect the sort of footage Blair Witch. Just get that in your mind because that's exactly how I felt when I saw this photo.
4,500-year-old.
And
Oh,
that is the chamber. You can just picture like
how
some
the fuck are that?
demon getting in.
Yeah. How have they just found this?
I have no idea. I'm going to read. Apparently, it's like you can't access it from the outside anywhere, so it's been hidden for ages, obviously. Um,
Yeah.
so you'd have to know about it if you were obviously
It's
back
one of
in
them,
those.
if you know, you know.
Yes, it. A new chamber dating back some 4,500 years has been discovered in one of the Great Pyramids in Egypt. The corridor, measuring 9 meters, 30 feet long, and more than 6 feet wide, was discovered close to the main entrance of one of the 3 pyramids at Giza. The Scan Pyramids project used high-tech equipment to unearth the chamber, which is located on the northern side of the pyramid of, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Khufu? I don't know.
Khufu, yeah.
Archaeologists are puzzled over the function of the chamber, which could not be entered from outside the pyramid. The project has been ongoing since 2015, and on Thursday, there was an unveiling ceremony attended by scientists. Professor of Non-Destructive Testing, Christian Gross, said that various scanning techniques were developed to locate the chamber, including ultrasound measurements and ground-penetrating radars. Scientists detected the corridor using advanced radiography or radiography. I can't pronounce that. How do you
Yeah,
pronounce
you
it?
were right the first time, I think.
All right, there you go.
Radiography.
That's it. Then collected images of it by feeding a minuscule endoscope through a tiny joint in the pyramid stones. They've been doing that since 2015. What the fuck? Yeah,
That's mad.
that's ridiculous.
I saw a clip of Joe Rogan. There was a guy on there that had been to the Great Pyramids. I'm going to Egypt in June. The only problem
Oh
is
yeah.
the pyramids are like 5 hours away from where we are. So
Ah,
it's like
right.
if you want, if you know, I'd have to.
That's
It's
a
a day
commitment.
thing,
Yeah.
but I think it'd
Yes.
be worth it. But this guy was like, yeah, I've been inside the pyramids because you can go in, and he was like, you go up to these chambers, and it literally feels like they're reverberating with energy. Like it's so weird.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot about the pyramids and their civilization that we don't understand. Technology that's been lost.
Oh yeah. I mean,
But look at
to
that.
for how like thousands of years, and obviously just in this discovery period they've been trying to obviously do since 2015 for it to be uncovered what like 8 years later
Yeah.
after doing it for 8 years is just tells you how little we know really about
In
the
it.
pyramids,
Yeah,
even
definitely.
whilst
I
being there
think
day in day out.
just knock them down, see what's in them,
That's it. Yeah, knock them down,
deconstruct them.
have a look. You know what
That's
I
the
mean?
problem. We can't rebuild them, so it's not even a case of right. Let's disassemble it and then reassemble it because we can't,
Mm.
which is mental. We've progressed, and yet we can't replicate what they've made. It's
That's it.
insane.
It's a question: have we really progressed or have we regressed because we can't build that shit? You know?
That's it.
Oh
But yeah,
dear,
no, it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
definitely. I thought that'd be right up your street as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I hadn't heard about this.
Oh dear.
Obviously, there's theories that, these places are older than what we think, and
Yeah,
so that could be like a 10,000-year-old tomb or vault or whatever they called it. What do they call it?
a chamber.
Chamber.
Mm.
But yeah, there's
It's
lots we don't understand, and apparently it's being gate kept by archaeologists, which fucking blows my mind. Like,
yeah.
archaeologists just won't accept that they could be wrong. It's like it's literally your job to prove yourself wrong to find the truth. You fucking idiots.
Yeah. Oh, surely that's exactly what you want. It's not about you being right. It's about discovering
Yeah,
new stuff that
you
was
literally have,
previously not thought to be true.
yeah, one of the best industries to be wrong in, because that means you've discovered something new. If a fucking brain surgeon gets it wrong, you're probably dead or brain damage for the rest of your life. Whereas if an
Yeah.
archaeologist is like, "Oh fuck, the Egyptians are actually 5,000 years older than we thought," or these structures, then they're not going to go like, "Oh fuck you, you're fired." They'll be like, "Oh, well done for
Yeah.
proving other people wrong."
Yeah. It's
It's just
strange.
insane.
But when I'm not putting myself in the shoes of the people who built this. I'm not intelligent, but it's, I'm just thinking like, at what point do you decide you want to put this chamber in? Was that? Do you think it was something that might have been planned from the start, or do you think they got like halfway through at a point and went, a chamber would be cool there to store shit or do something with? I don't know. It's weird
This
how.
is the thing. It could literally, because obviously pyramids, well, pyramids back in the when they were constructed, weren't they essentially? Oh, this could be completely wrong. I should Google this, but weren't they like palaces for the like pharaohs and stuff, or were they
I
burial
I
chambers?
think so. And again, I'm not sure myself, but that
Because if it
was
is a palace, for
yeah.
example, which if it's not, I know people are going to be screaming at me. This could just be like essentially a janitor's cupboard.
Yeah, yeah.
Could you know what I mean? It could just have
I
like
mean,
mops and shit in it.
yeah. I mean, imagine like it was literally for that purpose to store stuff that wasn't really, it didn't really matter. Just like store some random stuff in there, like a few pots, a few pans, and then we're
Yeah.
just like discovering it now, going, "Oh my god, look at it! It is amazing!" And then back to the Egyptians, they're like, "We used that to store a load of shit we didn't want in. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
not that special, guys." But
Brad's saying they're tombs for their dead. So in which
uh,
case it's a fucking grave diggers cupboard.
nice,
Yeah.
and grave diggers. You got some moral questions about that. You got some really well. You got to look yourself in the mirror, even in those days. There we go. I thought that was a good opening story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
Nice.
realize. I thought for some reason, because you think of Egypt and you think of the pyramids. I assumed you were going to Egypt somewhere close to the
No, we're
pyramids.
not. We're not. We're like 5 hours away, I think.
Jesus Christ, that is quite a trek.
Yeah.
Quite a trek indeed. Right, this next story I'm going to bring up is well, it's quite fascinating, as was that one.
Just a question, not to throw the podcast into absolute disarray.
So
Is your microphone plugged in correctly? Because you sound a little bit strange, but not too bad.
it should be.
It
What
sounds
about
all
the
right now.
chat? What's the chat saying? Do I sound all right, or do I
Good.
not?
You sound all right now. There's just a few times there you're like a little bit doubled. Not doubled, but do you know what I mean?
1.5.
Yeah. I was completely fucked the other week. Don't know what happened there.
Well, yeah, that was that. I think we figured that out. That was the royal family.
Oh yeah.
I think that was a prince. Well, a combined effort from the king and the Prince Andrew. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the movement.
Yeah. What's next? What we
This
got?
next story. Okay. Woman who went missing more than 30 years ago and declared dead turns up alive in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ. Patricia Copter was known to be an eccentric street preacher who went by the name Sparrow. Interesting name. Had last been seen in Pennsylvania in 1992. All right, scroll down. As a US woman who was declared legally dead after disappearing more than 3 decades ago, has turned up alive in Puerto Rico, her family and police have said. Patricia Copter, now 83, has last been seen in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1992 when investigators began looking into her disappearance. She was known to be eccentric street preacher who went by the name Sparrow. Ross Township Deputy Police Chief Brian Colehep said on Friday. Mrs. Copter, who has dementia, has been living in a nursing home after she was taken in as a person in need 7 years after she disappeared. It's a relief she hasn't been murdered. This was a quote from her husband. Her husband, Bob Copter, said he had been married to Mrs. Copter for 20 years before she went missing. He said it's a relief knowing that she's not laying in a ditch somewhere or murdered somewhere. That's a nice sentiment. The 86-year-old added that his family suspected she may be in Puerto Rico, but she was declared dead around 25 years ago. The retired electrician also said he had consulted with a psychic about her whereabouts. Mrs.
Nice.
Proctor has two sisters, a twin who died 6 years ago, and a younger sister who was relieved to learn she's still alive. Mr. Copter added. He said he's experienced a range of emotions over the years, but is content knowing his wife is alive and being cared for. After 30 years, she tried to forget about it. Now I can forget about it. We know what happened, and she is taken care of now, he said. That's a picture of her now. Mrs. Copter feared she was going to be institutionalized. Mr. Copter said his wife had worked as an elevator operator at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh before she vanished. I didn't even know that was a job, but apparently it
Yeah,
was.
isn't it? Imagine that being your job. That's
Yeah.
boring.
Before her disappearance, US based doctors at a mental health facility had diagnosed Mrs. Copter with delusions of grandeur and she had signs of schizophrenia. But Mrs. Copter was released from the facility and kept preaching until she disappeared, her family said. Mr. Colehep has said police believe Mrs. Copter fled the country because she was concerned she was going to be institutionalized. She is thought to have regularly wandered around Puerto Rico's northern towns of Naranjito, Corozal, and Toa Alta, located just southwest of the capital San Juan, during her time on the island. Mrs. Copter had kept details about her life secret when she ended up in a nursing home, but began divulging information as the years passed. Last year, she revealed information which caused a social worker at the nursing home to contact authorities in Pennsylvania about her identity. Mrs. Copter suggested that she had arrived in Puerto Rico on a cruise ship from Europe, when she first arrived at the home, police said. However, her family has said she was in fact a straight A student in the US who became a model and dance instructor. After graduating high school, she worked in finance at Pittsburgh Plate Glass Company and would attend ballroom dancing events weekly, according to her family. Mrs. Copter's younger sister, Gloria Smith, now 78, has said her sister vacationed often in Puerto Rico with friends before she got married. She just loved the ocean, the beach, the warm sunshine. Miss Smith said she hopes to visit her sister even though her mental state has declined. Whether she knows me or not, I still want to see her and give her a hug and tell her I love her, Miss Smith said. There you go.
That's insane. So she went missing because she ran away. She didn't want to be institutionalized.
Yeah.
Only to be institutionalized in Puerto Rico 7 years later.
Yeah, I suppose if you're
Well,
going
is a
to...
nursing home, can you class that as institutionalized?
I don't know.
She's been in a nursing home for 23 years.
Mm, that
Fucking
is
hell.
a shit ton of time.
That is
Crazy. I mean, if you're going to class it as institutionalization,
yeah.
if you're going to class it as that, I suppose you want to be, in the place that you love the most. If it's gonna happen to you, you want to be the place you love. You know what I mean? But it's still not great, even. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. 20+ years to just be thought dead, and you turn up
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah. That is mad. So she just essentially was preaching in America, then went over to Puerto Rico and just preached there.
Yeah, yeah,
wandering the streets of Puerto Rico.
yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna do what I wanna do where I wanna do it.
Yeah,
That's a motto.
it's the
So
dream.
it's the dream. We all have that dream, you know? She lived the dream.
Yeah,
She didn't tell her family, but she lived the dream. But yeah,
yeah.
I got no, like, how the fuck that even, like, all those stories intermingle into one. Like, the care worker gets, like, the thought, maybe I should call people because she's saying stuff about a previous history that makes me think she wasn't actually from where she said she was or didn't get here the way she said she did. It's all those, like the ripple effect of stuff happening to then
Mm,
contacting the family somehow through the police or through the authorities. It's crazy.
yeah. No, absolutely. There we go. 30
Yeah,
years. So after 30 years, you can turn up. That's
that's
crazy.
it. That's it.
What you got next?
So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually read out a story that was literally sent to me last night or the night before,
Right.
right? And it's it's an interesting one. He's given me like a little bit to read out, obviously from what he experienced, him and his fiance. I'm gonna have to
Mhm.
read it from a phone because I haven't got my Instagram
Okay.
account on my computer. I do apologise, but I've got the. He's actually given me the coordinates. I believe they're coordinates of the location of which it happened. So I'm gonna put that on screen, just above Leeds. You all right, Leeds?
Right.
You all right, Leeds?
Nice.
That's it. Right, I'll go. Is that Otley? I think it's in Otley. It's let's go in here. On
Well,
West
so
Lane.
this is
This is where um it happened. I'll read it to you.
right. Okay.
This is from I'll just
So
shout it
before you
out.
do that, can you put the thingy down, the person down?
Oh yeah, I will do. Yeah, I was gonna do that. I forgot to do it.
Oh, right. Okay. I want to see what this place looks like. Whoop. Oh, it's a country lane with cyclists.
Yeah,
That's the
cyclists.
scariest thing I've ever seen. Trying to
So
overtake them cunts.
right. So now you've got the picture in your head of the
Yeah.
scene. Now I'm gonna read out what happened. This is from Lord underscore Joseph Peel. So
Nice.
thanks for your story. It was I just had the craziest moment ever. At around 1850 on West Lane in Axquith, North Yorkshire, then gives me the coordinates. I was
Nice.
driving from Otley to Ilkley, I think that's what it says, over the country
Nice.
roads when me and my fiancée both saw what we can only describe to be a giant drone which was
Oh.
hovering stationary over a field.
Oh, we're
I
going
first
UFO.
noticed it when going past Axquith Arms pub and had assured it was a plane or a crane, but it was genuinely stationary and was really quite low to the ground. It was long, sort of tube with two large circles on either side, and in the center was another oval shape which had lights beaming down to the ground. We were both in shock, and I was unable to pull over safely to take a picture, and neither was my partner, which is crazy to us because you always hear about these situations and wonder why they didn't take a picture. We managed
Yeah.
That's it. We managed to slow down and ask my partner to take a picture, but it had turned around and moved in the opposite direction towards the airport over the hill. But we were still able to see it from a distance. He then goes on to say, because I said, "Oh, this is crazy. Can I use it on the podcast?" He said, I still can't believe neither of us took a photo of it. The only thing I can imagine that it could have been is some sort of new military drone that they are testing since we have an Air Force station in the general area called Mentwith Hill." So, yeah, that is the story he sent. And it is obviously would have seen it in this area, this
That's
vicinity.
mad. Let's see that green grass.
It's, it
Nice.
looks.
Oh, look, oh, it's a bloody Aston!
Is it Aston or is
Jesus!
it
I think
a
it's
Porsche?
Aston
It's a
Martin, look.
Porsche.
Nah, it's
That's
Aston
a
Martin.
Porsche.
That's a Porsche! I've been
That is
done
a Porsche.
there.
That's it. That's it.
I think that's a Cayman as well. Fucking Maya's dad's got one. I should recognise it.
Oh, that's it. There's Clarkson's farm.
Yeah.
That's it. So
Dutty
yeah,
cyclists.
Dutty.
Hate
Look
them.
at him. Not even over to the left. You know what I mean?
Unapologetically despise cyclists.
That's it. I mean, unapologetic. Very. You say that your feelings out very clearly there.
Yeah, yeah.
You've had a few run-ins, haven't you?
Get the fuck out of the way.
Jesus Christ! Don't fucking pay road tax. Don't pay insurance.
Hate 'em.
That's it.
But yeah, that's mad. That's mad. I just think, see, they actually saved it at the end there because when it was like, yeah, it was heading towards an airport, I just thought it's probably a plane then. But saying that there's an air force nearby, you do hear that these UFOs like to check in on military bases, see what they're up to,
They do. Like to
disarm the nuke codes and that.
that's it. Have a little check on them. Be like, yep, they're still doing the same shit they have done for many years now. Let's leave them
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
But
They're
yeah,
not splitting the atom just yet. Again.
no. Once they do, though, once they do,
Yeah. But yeah, so that's a cool story.
yeah. I mean, it's sad there was no photo. Like, of course, we would have loved
Yeah.
the photo, but
Yeah.
I don't want him to lose. Possibly lose his life trying to get a photo. Driving at like 40 miles an hour down a country lane with cyclists on.
Oh, assuming it was at night.
Yeah. So yeah, you need to pay attention on these lanes because you'll get
I'd
a
have just fucking
chicane
banked.
out of nowhere.
I would have just banked it and got that picture.
Oh well, you know what I mean.
There's
Maybe
a turning point there. There's a passing place there. Pull in
true.
there.
What didn't have a safe space to pull over? What's
I'd
this?
just stop. I'd just put my hazards on, stop in the middle of the road, and then if someone like, "What the fuck are you doing?" It's like, "There's a UFO up there, you fucking
Have you
idiot!"
seen that?
And then they
It's
just
a
get
fucking
abducted.
plane.
Ah! They just get sucked up into the UFO. I
That's it.
warned you. Then you think, actually, if I hadn't have stopped, you'd still be alive. My bad.
That's it. I mean,
Oh,
you contributed to his death, but you got
well,
on video.
potentially, you might have just got probed and checked over.
I mean, you'd probably prefer death at that rate, really.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
each to their own. Maybe you
yeah.
fancy a good probing by an alien. Who knows?
Who knows?
Depends how I'm feeling on the day, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that story, Joseph. I
Yeah,
appreciate
nice.
it. So let's get rid of that now. And let's go to one of the scary.
I have to say, I don't think Dan's joining us today.
Yeah, Dan.
He's not in the
yeah,
waiting room or anything, is he?
no. Are you? If he's in the waiting room with this, you can see him on the bottom, next to. Well, he'll be next to you at the bottom on my screen, and he's not there. So, yeah, he ain't said anything in the chat. I don't
Nah,
believe. No,
there must something's gone down.
that's it. Maybe he's seen a ghost. Maybe he's seen a drone. I don't know.
Prayers of the chat for Dan, please.
Maybe he's gone back to green flag. Had the
Maybe.
second green flag.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right, let's do one of the ghost stories or the scary stories because they're not all about ghosts. We don't discriminate here. We're all stories, So
Yeah.
let's have a look at this one. This one's called "Don't Google Yourself." Bracket, horror story. Close bracket. I know.
Nice.
Like, don't Google yourself. Why? Because you may not like what you find. ... Mysterious.
This is quite an intro to a ghost story, Loz.
It is. It is. And I say this one isn't actually a ghost story. It's
oh, fucking hell.
I did say they weren't all ghost stories.
Oh, yeah, to be fair, it's called Supernatural Nightmares, Tales of the Unknown, so I'll let you off.
That's it. One day, I was bored and decided to search for my own name on Google. I have quite a rare name, so I didn't expect to find many results. Imagine how surprised I was when I came across a website that had my full name in the domain. It was www.whatevertheirname.com.
Nice.
Just in case no one could figure that one out. When I clicked on the link, it brought me to a message board. I looked at the profile of the website owner and found out that the person was the same age as me and had the same hobbies and interests. There weren't any posts on the message board, but I was intrigued, so I saved it to my favourites. What a narcissist. It was about a month later when I went back to the website. This time it had more content. There were some diary entries, mostly random things like, the weather was nice today, or I'm so bored in work, things of that nature. However, as time went on, I began to notice more and more coincidences. The person lived in the same city as I did. It struck me as rather strange that two people with the exact same rare name would be living in the same city at the same time.
Oh God.
At one point, I noticed that the contents of the diary were quite similar to my own life. This is getting juicy. One day, I went to to a baseball game, and when I checked the website that evening, I had found that the owner of the site had gone to the same ball game. At first, I didn't think much of it. After all, tens of thousands of people in the city supported the same baseball team. It began to seem like much more than a simple coincidence. Whenever I checked the website, I would notice little biographical details that seemed too close for comfort. For example, the owner mentioned their pet dog, and the dog's name was the same as the dog I had when I was a child. The website owner posted a picture of their car. It was the same model of car I had been driving when I was in college. They talked about eating at a certain restaurant. It was the same restaurant I had gone to all the time when I was working at my previous job. One day, when I looked at the message board, people had written messages to the owner saying happy birthday. That day, it was my birthday as well.
Oh Jesus.
Uh, I decided to write on the message board for the first time, just out of curiosity. I was going to wish the owner a happy birthday and tell them we had the same name. However, when I tried to write something, I realized that there was nowhere to type your message. It wasn't a board at all, just a static page. That's odd, I thought to myself. In other words, whoever owned the website had gone to a lot of trouble to make it seem as if it was an interactive site, as if there were other people posting on it, when in actual fact, all of the content must have been created by the owner. Why on earth would someone do that? I wondered. I decided to send an email to the owner. It read, "Hi there. Believe it or not, we both share the same name. Nice to meet you. It was just a friendly email." The next day, when I tried to look at the website, I discovered that it was gone. It seemed like it had been deleted. Then I opened my mailbox. There was one reply. When I looked at it, a chill ran down my spine. It read, "Found you."
You can't end it there.
You know what I mean? I didn't write it.
What does
I
that mean?
That's it. Well, I don't really know how getting someone's email address through them replying is enough to say I found you now. I got you.
What was
I
it? A
mean,
stalker?
I think it seems like it would have been a stalker to me. I found it a pretty. Obviously,
I
it's
thought he was
pretty.
going to be
Funny.
like schizophrenic, and it was him the whole time.
See, you preempted it. Do you know what I mean? But
So wait, is this just
yours is probably better.
this is made up, right?
It could be. It doesn't say it's not.
What are the
But,
comments? Are there any comments? Did he reply to anything?
time to move, lay low. Yikes! Happy cake day. Uh,
What great
I
story
can't.
can I narrate this? I'll credit you.
I just fucking did.
Clutzy, sure. The best one is up.
No, I can't see any replies from the actual author of the story, unfortunately. But yeah, found you,
Don't get it.
found you. I mean, they must have the one with this thinking it through. They must have like obviously been stalking him for a while to know all this shit about him, and then just to say I found you is a bit like not entirely. I mean, you did that at like the first post you did about this person's life. You found them.
Hi there, believe it or not. Hang on, let me look at the email. Hi there, believe it or not, we both share the same name. Nice to meet you. Found you. Don't get it.
That's it. He's stumped
Don't
by
get
that
it.
one. He's stumped.
Yeah.
So
It had
it,
to be a
obviously,
stalker. But
yeah, that's what I'm guessing. So obviously, you're going to be rating that one like a 3, 2.
I'm annoyed.
That's it. That's the official rating. Annoyed out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm fucked off.
That had potential, and then the end just fucking. I'm sick of it.
That's it. Well, if you're that sick of it, let's move on to the next one. This one's a lot shorter, but this one, this one made
Oh,
me
so we
a
just
little.
had a message from Dan. He's
Oh,
fucked
what's
up.
it?
He's had to go to the factory, but he's forgot his laptop.
Oh, that's
I think
it.
it's between me and you today.
That's all right, Dan. No worries. You know, he's probably in a bit of a flap. Oh dear.
What we got?
Well, here's to Dan. Shout
Here's
out
one
to Dan.
Dan.
Yeah. This one is called "Horrifying Experience During Quarantine." Now, this one will hit hard. I was upstairs in my room one night playing video games with the volume really loud when I thought I heard noises coming from downstairs. I muted the TV and listened closer. Nothing. I resumed playing the game for another hour when I heard it again, only louder. I was sure I heard it this time and was a little freaked out. To assure myself, I went downstairs to the basement where I thought I heard the noise coming from. As soon as I opened the basement door, I was hit with a cold breeze. I went downstairs and saw the window wide open. I was 100% sure I'd closed and locked all the windows in the house. I was ready to make a run for it when something stopped me. I turned around and for the first time noticed that the closet door was slightly cracked open. I stood for what seemed like 30 minutes in front of that door, debating whether I should open it. I moved closer and put my hand on the doorknob. All of a sudden, I heard a creepy cackle coming from inside the closet. I have never run faster up a flight of stairs before. I locked the door and called the cops, who had unusually fast response time. They came in and searched the house, and not even 5 minutes into their search, I heard a gunshot from downstairs.
Jesus.
A few minutes later, they came out with a deranged looking man, probably homeless. They put him in the back of a car and told me that they had opened the door and the man was holding a gun, shot at them and missed. He luckily missed, and the cops disarmed him and arrested him. The scariest part was how close I was to opening that door and likely being murdered.
Right. Hang on. Hang on.
He's,
How's he
he's,
missed? How the fuck has he missed?
well, he could be absolutely like PCP'd up to living fuck, you know?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? He's seen like 8
that's
cops and
true.
just one. And he's like, "Ah!" Poof. Do you know what I mean? He's shot the wall.
Yeah,
That could have happened.
it
Um,
could have shot him under
if
the arm or something.
true. If he was sober though, and fully like but then does a sober man go into a closet and then cackle? I don't know. Eh, what do we think?
Yeah, bit weird. No, but I mean, it's cool. Brad in the chat says, honestly, fuck basements, but I'd love a basement, mate, because you can. That's extra
Oh yeah.
space in it. Yeah, definitely. You can like
All
turn
all
it
for the
into.
activities and that in your
Yeah,
basement. Yeah.
let's see. You
Toilet
can
stuff.
kidnap people. No, I'm
That's one
joking.
use.
You can turn it into a office space.
No, to be fair, I
Be
would
good
actually
audio. Be really good audio down in the
I
basement.
would I'm in an attic right now, attic conversion. I would much rather have a basement than an attic. There you go.
That's so cool. I just love conversions. I quite like to floor out the attic up there. But see, but how like your what sort of roof have you got? Because you've got a flat roof there. My attic's like that. So it'd have to be like I'm doing a triangle for the people at home listening. Um, so there's not much space. How the
Well,
fuck?
with this
Have you
is
got
like
an attic above that?
yeah, so there's like this is an attic conversion, and then there's an attic conversion or an attic above the attic conversion if it makes sense.
So you
Um,
have a 4-story house.
Technically, if you include the upper attic, it's quite small though. It's not very big. The like
No.
space above this room, but yeah, um,
Are you
this
going to
this
convert
story
that?
though, no, because it's too small. It's too
Have another
small,
one.
and
Have
so
two.
another one. I'm gonna get a fucking basement, and I'm gonna convert the attic above the attic conversion, and I've got a 5-story house in
That's
some way.
mad.
But yeah, this story made me think of you actually,
Me?
not as the PCP cracked up guy in the closet shooting at police officers, but the
What have I done?
you. I think it was you who was streaming, or you were
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and then you heard the door go.
Yeah. Oh, no, that was fucked, mate. So
Yeah,
that I would no, I wasn't streaming. Maya was streaming. This is caught
yeah.
on stream. I was in the bath, and in my old apartment, which is a ground floor apartment, you walk in the front door, and then immediately on your right is the bathroom. So I was in the bath, and there's no doubt whatsoever because you can hear it on the stream. The front door opens,
Yeah.
and I'm just thinking, why the fuck is Maya going out? It's like 11:30. Like, why the fuck is Maya going out the front door? So, Maya, did you just open the door? And then you just hear it close again. And so
Jesus.
that is either spooky, spooky ghosts, but more than likely, because also being completely honest, it wasn't the nicest area. The apartment was lovely, but it wasn't the nicest area of Norwich.
Yeah.
I would, and also because of the building, it was a weird building. Our front door was like on the side.
Yeah.
It was really strange. So what I'm getting at is, unlike someone mistaking it for their house or whatever, like that was such an odd building shape that no
Yeah.
one's mistaken that front door for their own, and also no one's stumbling home pissed because it's in quarantine. So yeah,
Yeah.
so basically it was I think it was someone that was going to attempt to burgle and
Jesus.
just got spooked because
I mean,
it's
you're
innocent front
literally.
door.
Where did you have?
I would have had to have fought off a burglar wet and naked.
That's it. The way you all everyone wants to fight for a burglar that way.
Yeah.
Where's the door open for the bathroom, or did you have it closed?
Yeah, no, I had the door open
Oh,
ajar.
okay, so you would have seen someone presumably coming
No,
in.
no, no. So, oh yeah, when they walked past, but obviously
Yeah,
there was about what, like a meter of wall before the door.
right.
But yeah, no,
Right.
100%. Yeah, the door opened. You
Yeah,
can literally hear it.
I just
So
remember that you showed me that. I was like, "What the
yeah, it's
fuck?"
fucked.
You
It's
were
absolutely fucked.
almost caught being burgled on stream.
Yeah, yeah,
Crazy. But yeah, that
yeah.
story reminded me of that.
But having said that, there were some weird paranormal things. Like
What in
my
that
still
sense?
in the apartment. Yeah, we had
Mhm.
something fall off a shelf that was at the back of a shelf. We had a few
Right.
light bulbs explode, which could have just been poor electrics. Maya was at work because she had to work through lockdown. She was at work, and I'm streaming, and I take off my headphones because I was sure that I heard someone say hello. However, you can't hear hello. Or was I? Was no? I might not have been streaming. No, Maya was streaming. Right. So no. So I was working on a video, and I take my headphones off because I was convinced that, and I shout, "Hello, Maya, are you back?" Because I was convinced she said hello to me.
Yeah,
And then Maya was streaming, and she did the same because she thought that I was at home and said hello.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it was just a bit weird.
I
Yeah,
get
the
that.
shelf was fucked because it was at the back of the shelf.
What was it that fell off? Was it something like quite heavy?
Yeah, it was like, well, I think it was one of those like diffuser things.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
Jesus. Yeah. That's. I mean, it's fairly heavy. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, really weird.
I mu-
That was strange.
I must say I find that lot more stuff like you hearing things. I find that when I'm wearing headphones, it happens so much more that I think someone's said something behind me, or I
Yeah,
think I heard a noise downstairs. I'll have to do what you do, like take one earphone off and like, am I listening to the same thing? Am I just is it something I'm imagining? Can I hear it through the game audio or through whatever I'm listening to? And it's not something I've noticed before.
yeah,
But yeah, that does shit you up a lot.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what are we giving that story overall then?
Um, yeah, I mean, look, it's entirely plausible that the guy missed, so it's good. I'll give it
Yeah.
out of what?
Oh, I'd say 10 is a good out of 10.
Give it a 5.
Jesus Christ, not even a 6.
No,
That's, I'll give it a 6. You know, I'll get put up there a little bit. I did like the.
it would have been an 8 if you'd opened the door, pussy.
I mean, it would have been an 8, but the story wouldn't have existed because he would have been shot. Or if the
Missed.
guy was that fucked up, he would have missed. But it depends how many rounds he's got. You don't know. He might have
Yeah,
double tapped if he
yeah.
was a bit more of mind. But there we go. This next one is it's always a good one. The imaginary friend.
Oh yeah, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Imaginary friends are fucked. Like, there is some belief that, like, when you're young, um, like, you see more than what we do as adults. Because I
Right.
remember my sister Chloe, man, like, she'd, like, fucking when she was, like, 2, 3, maybe 4, she'd just, like, sit in a corner and just talk to something that wasn't there.
What?
You know what I mean? So it's just like, and like Maya, apparently, when she was young, she'd read stories to the man in her wardrobe.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah,
What the fuck is going on?
yeah. It's fucked. Imagine, honestly, imaginary friends terrify me. I never had one. Imaginary friends fucking terrify me. Like kids just talking to things that aren't there. It's just fucking weird.
Jesus Christ. Just before I read this one out, Liam's put something in the chat. When I was younger, like 6 or 7, I used to claim that I could see my nan at a specific corner in my auntie's house, even though my nan had passed away before I was born. Jesus. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
you
so
hear
many
shit like that all
stories of
the time.
that sort of stuff
Oh,
happening.
he's followed it up.
Oh, yeah. Fast forward 11 years, and my cousin, who is 6, also says the same
Oh,
now.
that's it. There you
Jesus.
go. There you go.
So,
Like what more? Like that's confirmation.
I mean, that's all I need.
And Big P, yes, Liam, brother, go, go, go. Yes,
Yes.
that's it.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I have thought that. Brad says no wonder your current place is haunted. Myra's pals with a demon. I have thought that. Like how funny. Like if
Yeah.
if this stuff is all haunted and that, me thinking that it's me, and actually it was her the whole time. That's just paranormal activity, isn't it? A
Yeah.
fucking that Micah guy's just filming everything, and then actually it's the girl has got like a link with a demon.
That's it.
But
Oh, yeah. I didn't even connect the two when you said that about my obviously speaking to a bloke in the closet. Maybe
yeah,
all the paranormal stuff, like you say, is connected to Maya.
yeah. Well,
Should
apparently her parents' house is like proper haunted. There's a cupboard downstairs where the door just keeps on opening. They've heard someone running up and down the stairs. Um, like loads of stuff has happened to a point where I'm kind of calling him out. I apologize, but I just think it adds so much credibility. Like Maya's brother doesn't like being in that house by himself because
right.
of, and he's a hard bastard. He doesn't like being in the house by himself because of just the stuff that has happened in there. And apparently, the person who owned the house before them um, lost lost a child,
Right.
and they believe it was in that house. Um,
Jesus.
so yeah, yeah, it's mad.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Well, we might be going there at
We
some
might
point.
be doing an investigation there, yeah. It's a lovely house. It's a lovely house.
Well,
But yeah.
let's just hope that maybe that's the place where Maya's gonna like fully assimilate into the demon world. And she's like
Yeah.
dragged us all there, and it's just
Yeah.
like, right, I've brought you corpses to feed on.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
There we go. Right. My brother's imaginary friend. I was like 10 or 11 years old when this started. My brother was 4 to 5. Like most kids, Carl too had an imaginary friend. And like most kids with imaginary friends, Carl had given his a name with distinctive physical features. If I remember correctly, the friend's name was Bosco. Cool name. Bosco was short, pudgy, and had a grey beard. My
Nice.
parents thought it was a bit strange that Carl's imaginary friend would be an adult man, but they didn't dwell on it too much. That would probably cause some concern in my mind. Bosco quickly became a part of our daily routine. While getting ready for school, Carl would insist that I needed to stop hogging the mirror as Bosco had to fix his hair and beard. At breakfast and lunch and dinner, the chair next to Carl was to be left unoccupied because there where Bosco that's where Bosco would sit. My parents were just grateful that he didn't ask for an extra plate to be prepared as Bosco did not eat. He just wanted to sit there to keep Carl company. Bosco would make his presence felt at school too. Carl's teacher once called my mum how impressed she was with Carl's quickly expanding vocabulary. He was learning new words, and when asked, he would say his friend Bosco had said them to him. I
Jesus.
remember this one instance when a new family moved into our neighbourhood. Their kid was Carl's age. My mum took us over to say hello to them. I remember Carl shook the other kid's hand and said rather clearly, "I'm very pleased to make your acquaintance."
Jesus.
The other kid just stared. My mum struggled not to look smug.
Oh, the
"Oh,
mum's a
shit.
bitch.
My fucking kid's better than yours."
That's
I
it.
mean, stupid bitch. That's my harsh.
Just kidding.
That's it. You want your kids to have a good vocabulary, at the age of
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
My dad wasn't at all interested in Carl's friend or in anything else his kids did for that matter. There we
Oh,
go.
Jesus.
Deadbeat dad. So it was mostly my mum and
I
I.
should have got the milk and not come back.
Oh, he's just asking it. Like the fridge is constantly stocked with milk, and he's like, "Does anyone not fucking run out of milk in this fucking house?"
You're going to be a
Oh,
footballer because I failed. And if you fail, I will hate you for the rest of your life.
that happens so often though.
Yeah,
You just, you
100%.
just
That's why you get the
100%.
parents on the sidelines screaming at their kid because they fucked
Oh,
up a step over at the age of 6. It's
yeah.
like, dude, he's not going to be what you wanted to be, okay? Let it go.
I
Let
just
it go.
just to go on a very quick tangent, right? You bringing
Yeah.
that up about the dads and the mums shouting on the sidelines. When I played Sunday league football, right?
Yeah.
And I would have been like probably like 13, 14. I remember distinctively one game we lost like 2-1 and we lost it in like the 90th minute, right?
Oh, Lozzie,
And
weren't
the
you a
reason
goalkeeper?
I was right. The first goal in the game, my fault. Old man's up. Right. Second goal, right. One of the defenders in front of us, right. He plays the ball back to me.
Yeah.
No, he must have known there was an attacker behind him because I literally just rolled it out to him, right? And he kicked it back to me. The other player intercepted it and just slotted
No.
it past me, right? That kid's dad was seething with the entire team, but his son, right? He was calling his son out in front of everyone, and I was like,
Um,
"Fuck!" I shit you not, that kid did not turn up for a month after that, and he came back, and he's just said, "Oh yeah, I weren't feeling great." And I was like, "All right then,
two
your
black
dad,
eyes.
yeah, your dad's fucking like broken your fucking wrist or something." Oh
Jesus
dear,
Christ. What's it like? There's no need, is there? Do you know what I mean?
that's it. Actually, I
There's
don't.
no
I'd never
need.
understood.
I'm all for competition. I believe competition is healthy. I believe in being competitive. I think there should be winners and there should be losers because you learn so much from both. However, it's an under 13s game. Fucking hell.
Chill out.
Yeah.
Chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
I mean, the lino's given offsides for balls played in our own half. So let's not take the fucking game as gospel, all right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Fucking hell. There we go.
you brought back a memory there.
Yeah. So this might be that guy. This could be the
Might be.
kid, that defender. This is the kid saying the
Yeah.
story, and his dad is the deadbeat dad. Was his name Carl by any chance? I know Carl was the kid, the young kid.
Oh, it was good.
It's all gone
Uh,
to shit.
that's it. Yeah, so my dad wasn't interested in Carl's friend or anything else his kids did for that matter. So it was mostly me, my mum, and I who got to hear about how nice and fantabulous Bosco was. What a great word.
I'm sure it's going to be a paedophile ghost. You know it. Come on, keep it going.
Well, we'll see. Then came the incident that made us rethink just how imaginary Bosco really was. One day, Carl and I were waiting at the bus stop just outside of school for Mum to pick us up. This place always had a lot of parents and kids around, so it was safe. Suddenly, Carl began pulling on my arm, telling me he wanted to go to the store across the street and get a candy bar. I told him we could get one when Mum got here, but he just wouldn't listen. He pulled on my arm almost frantically and kept saying he needed a candy bar now. I
Nice.
gave in and I walked with him. to the store, all while telling him if Mum got mad at us, it would be his fault. The moment we had crossed the street, the driver of a bus lost control of the vehicle and mowed down
No.
a bunch of people at the bus stop. I know. It was like a scene from a movie. I was in a state of shock whilst Carl started crying. When my mum got there, she hugged us for what seemed like an eternity. She knew we could have been among the people who were crushed. Once we had gotten home and had calmed down, she asked me why we had crossed the street. I told her about Kyle wanting a candy bar. She questioned Kyle, who told her he didn't really want a candy bar. Bosco did. And he's the one who told Kyle to get me to go to the store with him. My mum turned pale. For some time after that, life went on as usual. Mum now asked Carl about Bosco quite regularly, but he didn't say anything out of the ordinary, just regular kid stuff. But another surprise for us was right around the corner. My mum's sister, our Aunt Rita, had just moved to our town. She had landed a job at the same company where Dad worked, and I remember that she and my dad got along very well. One weekend, my mum took us to see our maternal grandparents. Dad said he couldn't come as he had work. Mum seemed disappointed, but agreed to take us without him. Nana and Papa were impressed at how articulate Carl was becoming, and listened with great interest about his new friend Bosco. The next afternoon, we were all sitting in the living room. I was playing with my grandparents' dog. Mum and her parents were talking while Carl was fiddling with the TV remote. He switched to a channel where the movie Ghost was playing, the famous pottery scene.
Ah.
You know which one. Mum instantly grabbed the remote and changed the channel to Cartoon Network. Carl was upset and he demanded to know why he couldn't watch the movie. Mum explained to him that he could watch it when he was older, and it wasn't appropriate for kids to watch grown up hug each other like
That's
that.
it.
That's it.
Fucking Patrick Swayze's about to get his knob wet. Turn it off.
Carl argued some more, and Mum again told him he wasn't old enough. He powered and in sheer exasperation asked why it was okay for Dad and Aunt Rita to hug like that in his bed.
Jesus!
That's it.
Bosco is a voyeur.
That's it. Mum was taken aback and asked what he was talking about. Carl told her that Dad and Aunt Rita would get naked and hug in his bed, just like in the movie.
Nice.
When we were at school and Mum was at work, once or twice a week,
Oh.
Dad would come home for a while and he and Aunt Rita would hug in Carl's bed and then get dressed and leave. Mum was outraged and asked why he was making up such a disgusting story. Carl insisted that he hadn't made it up. Bosco had told him. Bosco also said that Aunt Rita was hugging Dad right then, even as they spoke. Mum's gaze turned cold. She told our grandparents she was going home. She drove back to our house in a hurry. I deduced that Aunt Rita was really there because Mum came back later that night with more of our stuff and said that we'd be staying with Nana and Papa for a while. My parents were divorced by the end of the year.
10 out of 10.
Absolutely. Bosco,
10 out of 10.
he's a fucking
10 out
absolute
of 10.
legend. You love it.
That was an amazing story. 10 out of 10.
Bosco.
He
What a
saved
guy.
them. He fucking called out cheating. I like how Bosco, right, can be in like two places at once.
Mm.
Or he can like communicate with the kid across miles. It's incredible.
Maybe he's got a network. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he's got imaginary friends.
Yeah, just
Jesus
pass the
Christ.
message along.
Exactly. They got
That
a
was
high
brilliant.
command.
That was
I did like
brilliant.
that.
What did the comments say?
Let's have a look.
And he would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for the pesky kids. That's it. Also, he can see into the future. Of course, he's an omnipotent being. Holy shit. I didn't even think about that. It was like, oh, there's a bus coming, by the way. You're going to want to go over to the other side of the road.
You want a candy bar. Trust me, you want a candy bar.
Yeah. Go and get a fucking curly whirly now.
But I don't want to get a fucking curly whirly now, Kyle.
Can you imagine thinking you have the perfect plan to cheat on your wife with her sister and you get busted by a fucking ghost? Right, Bosco's a damn snitch. That's it.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's how all divorces started. It's almost 2 in the morning in my country, and I'm just shook. Shy girl turned sassy was the original poster.
Okay. I mean, the story's fine.
Yo, that fucking plot twist! Block capitals. Bosco should write telenovelas, LeMayo.
What the fuck is a telenovela?
Innit? I tell you what, I did watch last night. Just while we're saying that, you know that Nicolas Cage film where he plays Nicolas Cage? I think it's The Weight of
Like, yeah, something like
Unparalleled Talent or
talent,
something.
yeah.
It's fucking quality.
All I've seen from
Pedro
that film,
Pascal is on
yeah, it's
one.
Pedro Pascal, yeah.
Well, that scene.
Yeah, where he's just like,
Spoilers. It's not a spoiler, but they're driving on LSD in that scene. That's why he's looking at him like that.
right.
Yeah. But it's a fucking brilliant film. I really enjoyed it.
I'll have to
It's
watch
on Prime. It's on Prime.
it.
I also
Anything.
noticed after it finished, it came up with like some suggestions, and that I didn't realize it's out on Prime already. That Everything All at Once is on there for free. So
Nice.
I'm gonna watch that. That's won loads of awards, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a multiverse thing that isn't Marvel.
Yeah. Which at this rate, to be honest, probably better.
Yeah. As you're on the topic, have you watched the TV series War of the Worlds? I haven't. I haven't.
Didn't even know anything about it.
Yeah. I also want to. I tell you, what we could maybe talk about a little bit next week, potentially, Loz. I want to
Yeah.
watch that. I think, mind you, know, we talked about it in the Bermuda Triangle one. That flight whatever the MH7, whatever the fuck it is, the one that went missing. There's a
Oh, yeah.
series on it that dropped yesterday on Netflix.
I'll watch that as well, if I can.
So prevalent considering what's going on in the world right now. I like War of the Worlds because like the aliens come down in a thunderstorm, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I remember watching that. I was like, whoa, they come down
Yeah.
to London.
And they're just like hitting the floor, and everyone's like, "What?" And then they just all come up and like, "What?"
That's it. That was a good film. I enjoyed most of the film. Like, there was parts I was like, what? But yeah, that was
Yeah,
good. That was good.
yeah,
I mean, most of it was Dakota Fanning just annoying the fuck out of me. But
yeah. It's Tom
just
Cruise doing Tom Cruise. You know what I mean?
that's it. Tom Cruise running a little bit more
Yeah, he
running.
loves running,
He does.
and I mean sprinting.
Yeah, like it's the sort of sprint that it takes you like 15 hours to recover from. It's like he does the sprint. It's like, right, we'll stop filming today because obviously he's not going to be well enough to do any acting. Just not to see that man just like do 55 takes of him just sprinting away from something. Oh,
Oh dear. You should really consider watching it. It's so good. I'll definitely have a little look into it. I recently discovered that the girl from The Last of Us actually went to acting school in my town, Loughborough, and she recently
wow.
returned to Leicestershire to buy a second-hand car. Nice. I have to say, I wasn't sold on her originally because she annoyed the fuck out of me in Game of Thrones. But after the
Oh, okay,
last
right, yeah.
after the last couple of episodes of The Last of Us, and I won't spoil it for anyone, like she's a fantastic actress. She
Yeah.
really is. She's an exceptional actress.
Yeah. I think I didn't mind her character in Game of Thrones up until, like pretty much the last season.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, really? How?
I'm glad. Didn't she get eaten by a
I think
giant?
she got fucked up by a giant, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why
Yeah.
I was like, I'm all in. She's being a
Yeah.
bitch,
Yeah.
get fucked stumped on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
But
do you know what? The only person in that series, to be honest, in that season 8, but in that episode, the Night Watch or whatever the fuck it is, uh, what's his name? It's been that long. Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah.
He's the only one that actually got. I thought his death was perfect
Yeah, good like arc.
because he betrayed the Starks, and then he died protecting Bran.
Yeah.
Obviously, fuck what Arya does 5 minutes
Yeah.
later, but Theon Greyjoy's
Yeah,
bit I thought was brilliant.
yeah.
Really cool
That
send off
that
to a
was
very interesting and tragic character.
yeah, that was a great kind of arc finishing to his story.
Yeah.
Although he did die, but this is what it is.
Yeah.
Spoilers, but if you haven't watched it by now, I don't
I
think you're
mean,
gonna
he
watch.
died before it literally totally went to shit. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
because Arya flying across 80 skinwalkers was the beginning of the end for me.
That was the moment that the show properly just fell apart.
Yeah.
I mean, it already had troubles during that episode and during the
Yeah.
beginning of that season, but that moment in that episode, I was like, "Okay, this is done,"
Yeah.
and then
The
it just
Dothraki just
compounded from there.
the Dothraki just flying out into the darkness. Brilliant.
But we can't
The
see them.
they
Yeah, but
can't
you
be
want to
matched. The Dothraki who cannot be matched in battle on the ground just aimlessly ride into the darkness where the undead are and get fucked. And then a few episodes later, there's literally thousands of them again in Khaleesi's army. But anyway, fuck Game of Thrones. I don't
That's it.
know. I don't know why I even went there.
There was links. There was links. But yeah, Inga, like she's a very good actress or actor.
Yeah, she is. She is.
I don't know. But yeah,
She is very
very
good.
good. Enjoyed the Last of Us so far as well.
Yeah, me
And it
too.
was nice to see the guy who voiced Joel in the game.
Yes,
Got obviously
that was really cool.
a cool part in. Well, I would say it's kind of a shit part in the grand scheme of things, but it was nice to see him in the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh right, well let's do. Should we do a few questions from the
Yeah,
audience?
and then unfortunately I've got to bounce because I've got a lot to do this afternoon.
No props. So get your questions in. If you wonder where Dan is, he's if you're coming in late, he's unfortunately not making it today. I mean, we're an hour in. We're pretty much going to go in the next 10 minutes. He's not making it.
Yeah.
He's had a bit of a kerfuffle at the factory, and he's forgot his laptop.
Yeah. I'm going to have a curly whirly. That's why I brought them up.
Have a curly whirly. Oh, in my view, they're underrated. Curly
They're very
whirlies.
good. They're very good.
What do you think? Let's put this on screen. This is Liam Bennett.
Jesus fucking Christ, Liam.
What do you think would be scarier, being on the Titanic whilst it was sinking, or being at the top of the World Trade Centers when the
I mean,
plane
they
hit?
both fucking suck.
Yeah. I think that's a terrible one to answer, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Titanic purely because from a survival point, I feel like there's a slight better percentage chance that you're gonna survive in a sinking Titanic ship rather than free falling if
What?
you aren't absolutely decimated
But you
by.
think no? But the question is, what's scarier?
Yeah, but you'd pick the one surely you think you're gonna survive more from? Do you think? That's
No.
what I would take from it.
No. What do you think would be scarier? So I was saying being at the top of the World Trade Center is scarier for your exact reason
Oh, right, yeah, right,
that you're
yeah,
not going to
sorry.
survive.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree.
But
Yeah.
that, Liam, is a fucking awful question. Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's a good well, it's a good start, I suppose.
Yeah.
Got the pulses racing a bit. Just imagine being on the Titanic now. That's it. Watching the band play the last tune. That's it.
There was a guy, a Japanese guy, I think. I'm going to butcher this story, but there's a Japanese guy that survived the Titanic. And because he survived, he was seen as a dishonorable person and was
wow.
just treated like shit by society in Japan for the rest of his life.
I suppose that's so fucked, man. Look, to survive that and then go
Yeah.
back home and everyone's like, the reason you survived is because you are terrible. You're a dishonorable person. You should have fucking drowned yourself.
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it?
It is mad. John Smith. John, you ever thought about doing a paranormal investigation at a super rural historical gallows site? So many depraved humans meeting their demise in one place.
That's a very good suggestion. We'll have to find a rural historical gallows site.
I mean,
where it's still.
yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess you don't need it to still be there, but aesthetically, it would be quite cool.
Yeah, because when you haven't got that and you just got like a pile of fucking, I don't know, a field or a pile of grass or something,
Yeah,
you just go, this used
cool.
to be this thing. This used to be they did this here, and you can't really picture it because you haven't got any
Yeah,
artifacts or stuff from the past.
yeah. If there
But
is
yeah,
any, definitely have a look. Yeah,
there
no,
must be
100%.
someone. Yeah.
I would definitely look into that
Mm.
for certain.
Evil Pixie 1980. What is the scariest supernatural story that you have both heard?
Um, hmm, that's a very good question. I'm not having anything spring to mind, which is annoying. Scariest supernatural story. Probably the Enfield hauntings, I'd say. Just because the voice recording of that girl doing like 7 different voices and languages is just one of the most horrific things I've ever listened to in my life.
Mm.
So yeah, I'd say the Enfield hauntings.
Yeah, I mean, the one that springs to my mind, I think you mentioned it last week or the week before, I can't remember now. The I think you did a video on it as well. The island that's just been like basically taken over by dolls.
Yeah.
That's a that's not a that's a horrible story. Um,
Yeah.
it's so anything with like a loss of a person, or especially a loss of a child, you like
Yeah.
it just elevates the amount of I don't know, almost not fear, but you kind of feel weird. It feels a bit more visceral when a child or something involved
Yeah.
like
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree. But yeah, no, I'd say those. Yeah. Two very good shouts.
that. Right, we'll do a couple more questions.
Okay.
Mr. Joe Boy 456 Charles Bronson on
Is he
being released.
actually being released? I know he's up
I,
for parole.
I don't think he
I'm
will.
pretty
I,
sure they're saying he just can't
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know how long he's been in.
the majority
Must,
of his life.
yeah, and I don't know how old he is either. Must
Yeah.
be like 60s, right? 70s.
Yeah, I think so. Let's have a look. How old? Charles Bronson. 70 years old.
Jesus,
Yeah. Um,
cray cray.
yeah. He spent close to 50 years behind bars.
Fuck. I mean, at that point, I suppose you still would want freedom if you'd done the time, but I don't know. He's
He
a
is
very
the
special
closest
character.
thing. He is the closest thing to Eggman from Sonic I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
He's gonna get out and he's be like, "Look, I've got a fucking movie deal with fucking Sonic. I've cut. They ain't got to cast fucking what's
Jim
his name, Jim
Carrey.
Carrey. I'll do it for half the price. I've got a job to do. I've got to make bank, bro." That's how he talks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll do one last one from
Okay.
Liam Bennett.
Okay. Oh god.
Jordan, do you think Leeds will manage to keep hold of Nonto after this season? He's a special talent.
He is a special talent. If we go down, absolutely not, obviously. But if we stay up, possibly. I think it would be beneficial for his development, personally, rather than sitting on the bench for someone else. I have to admit, he's gone off the boil a little bit, but I think it's because teams have been like, "Oh fuck, he's really good," so they just like mark him out of the game now.
Yeah,
But yeah, hopefully so. Like, oh my god, if we kept Rafinha and we had Rafinha on one wing, Nonto on the other, I'm not asked about Phillips at all. I think Tyler Adams is actually possibly not better, but he is. I'm perfectly fine with Adams, McKennie
yeah,
slash Rocker. But yeah, mate. Oh, Nonto is special, and he's like 19 years old. So
Jesus,
the thing is, he is like 5'2", right? So
yeah,
his fucking center of gravity is so low. He's just so agile. He can just turn so
yeah.
well, and he's got a good pass and a finish on him. So yeah, no, I think when he's in, if he keeps going, when he's in his prime, he's going to be Man City, Real Madrid, Liverpool. Like he'll be one of them without a doubt.
Mm. I think
Without a doubt.
personally, if Leeds were to go down, which I hope they don't, and I'm sure you don't
Yeah.
feel the same way or do feel the same way, um, I think it'd stay.
Really?
Um, Personally, yeah, because that I think quite a lot of the players there now, bar like maybe 3 or 4 of them, would probably leave, and I think he'd be one of the ones that stayed, just because I feel like he may get into those other teams, but I don't think he'd start for most of them. So
No, I
there
agree.
is a very good chance that he's looked, although he wasn't there at the time, he's looked at Phillips and gone, "I don't want that. I don't
Yeah.
fucking want that," because
That
I
is,
have not even seen Phillips in a Man City shirt.
yeah. The only thing I've
I
seen him in, mate, is a training shirt.
Yeah, so, yeah, I don't
What
know
a
what.
fucking mistake that
Yeah.
was, man. He's a
So I
great
think,
player, but he's not Rodri. So what the fuck, idiot.
but you get quite a lot of these clubs now just sign an English player to make up the quota,
Well,
an
I
English.
do you think there's anything in this, right? I think Man City may have signed Phillips so Liverpool or Man United couldn't.
Maybe, but I don't think he would have been the sort of signing maybe for Man United, but I don't think Liverpool would have gone for him purely because 'cause they've got, Fabinho and a whole host of, like,
Yeah.
Henderson, all the sort of industrious players, they've got quite a few of them. Um, I know he's quite good with his passing as well, to be fair to him, but, yeah, I don't think we would have gone for him that much. Man
Yeah.
United, I think, probably is a bigger shout.
I'd like to think, because looking at Rio Ferdinand, Alan Smith especially, that Phillips wouldn't have went to Man United.
Mm,
I just like, if you're a homegrown Leeds boy, you cannot go to Man fucking United. You just
yeah,
can't.
you can't do it.
But
You
it's
can't
like
do
Haaland. It's like Haaland. There's no
it.
fucking way in hell that guy will ever play in a Man United shirt.
Yeah,
Roy Keane ended his dad's career in a Man United shirt. There's no fucking way he would play for them. He was born in Leeds, grew up in Leeds. Like, there's just no way. Fuck
mm,
off.
yeah.
The fact that they even
Yeah.
put their fucking hat in, the name in the hat or whatever the fuck, throw your hat in. I don't know what the fuck, there's no fucking way.
Throw your hat into the ring, I believe.
Yeah, there's no
I have
fucking
no
way.
idea what that means, but
No way he'd go to Man United.
yeah. I mean, it'll be funny. Still now, it's a little bit of a step down from obviously Man City, but
Yeah,
um, he wouldn't have got anywhere near the amount of goals that he's got
no,
at the moment if he'd went to United.
yeah.
But who knows? He might. Apparently, his agent's been fucking chatting up Real Madrid, so we'll just see how long he lasts at Man City. But if he
Yeah,
does
which is a
stay,
shame.
he will be phenomenal.
Oh,
Absolutely,
yeah.
he's an
If he
absolute machine.
stays, if he stays, right, Kane will get the Premier League record, and then Haaland will beat it in like a couple of years' time.
Jesus Christ. Big shout out.
And the guy's going to do 50 goals this season.
And he's a goal merchant. That's
Fucking
what
ridiculous,
he's all
man.
about.
I also think that Kane will leave Tottenham at the end of this season.
Oof. Where's he
Yeah.
going then? That's the thing.
Does he care that much about the Premier League record?
He's at a weird point now because, I don't know how old he is. He must be like 29. He's getting towards the end of his kind of peak powers at the game.
Yeah.
He must be thinking at this point, do I go and win silverware? Or do I stay in the Premier League, possibly with Tottenham, get a few records, personal records, but probably not win that much?
Hmm.
That's what he's got to weigh up, I think.
Mind you, if Haaland goes to Real Madrid, maybe Kane would go to Man City.
Maybe.
Hmm.
I mean,
We'll finish on this. How was the Man U game?
it was the perfect remedy to that 5-2 loss at Real
Yeah.
Madrid. Absolute perfect.
I watched it from 3-0. because I got
Mate,
out of the bath after half time when it was 1-0, and by the time I got downstairs to turn the PlayStation on, it was 3-0.
I was watching a totally legal stream of the game.
Nice.
I was watching that, and I went away at halftime thinking, right, this second half is going to be well tight. I was like, I would actually be amazed if there was more than one goal in the next half. And I come back, and I was a little bit late, and I came back, and I was like, what the fuck? We're 3-0 up.
Yeah,
And then the fourth went, and I was like, okay. Fifth
yeah,
one went in. I was like, okay, we're cooking. We're fucking
yeah,
cooking. Yeah. And the sixth went in. I was like, let's stop it because this is getting embarrassing now. And then the seventh one went in. I was like, well,
yeah.
this has done some damage.
I
In
can't
reality,
believe
you
like
know,
Luke Shaw and Fernandez. They lost it completely.
yeah, yeah. It was just a comedy of fucking errors from pretty much everyone on the pitch, to be honest, from a
Yeah,
Man United player anyway. It did seem like we were getting every single second ball, and
yeah,
like, as much as I'm like, you got to be there to capitalize on it. There is an element of luck in it,
yeah,
but I was like, fuck me, we are getting every single fucking second ball here, and we're
yeah.
doing them on the break every time.
Where are you
But
in
yeah,
the league now? Because you're not far off fourth, are you?
fifth or sixth, I think.
Yeah. You did this the other season where you looked like you were adrift and then you finished third.
Yeah, I think that
Like,
was not last season, the season before.
yeah, really weird.
Yeah,
But I must admit, seeing Gakpo in a Liverpool shirt makes me sick because we were so close to signing him in the summer.
yeah. He looks like really good. He looks
Yeah.
really good. But the thing about him, he's got pace, like out of nowhere. You think, oh,
Yeah.
he's gonna fucking just kind of amble around, maybe pass it. But once he's passed it, my fucking god! For one of them, it might be a second or third goal. He literally makes up that he's on the break. He's literally at the edge of our box, and he plays the ball to Salah. And by
Yeah.
the end, he's like right up with Salah within like seconds. I'm like, where did you get that fucking pace from? Because I don't think he was that pacey, but fuck me, he
Yeah.
is. But he's good. Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you kick on because I do. It's because I know it's because of you. It's the same reason I like Chelsea because of Dan, but I do like Liverpool. So
You like
I hope.
Chelsea?
Well,
You like Chelsea?
for Dan, I like to see them do well for Dan.
I mean, I like Dan, but don't really like Chelsea. No, I don't want to see him get relegated, but you know what I mean.
I tell you what, though, the fucking Leeds game was tight, man. Fucking hell, that should have
Yeah,
been a draw, if anything.
yeah.
Fucking hell, I know Chelsea is shit at the minute, but we definitely went toe to toe.
You did well.
The
Well,
Yavi Grazia era is here for 6 months, and then
I
we're gonna get
fucking
in the manager that we want.
I totally forgot he was your manager.
Yeah, mate,
Didn't even realize.
mate, Yavi Grazia all the way.
So, what's his name? In his name, Yavi Garcia.
Nah, it's Grazia.
Is it? Oh, I
Yeah,
don't know.
the R is before the A.
Jesus, there you
Yeah,
go.
mate, Yavi.
Well,
I need to
on
go
that
very
note,
soon. Football Talk proceeds to chat for an extra hour. Yeah, innit?
that's it.
Hello
Oh,
Fresh are not getting their video today. No, they will.
that's it.
They will.
You'll get
I
out.
tell you, we cooked it last night, man. It was not to do a plug at all, but we had the sausage burgers, and they were fucking exceptional. They really were.
Nice.
It's really
Nice.
cool. But yeah, so I need to edit that.
Yeah.
But I realised that when I'm holding up the HelloFresh box, my address is on it, so I need to blur a bit of the bottom.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Jesus, he's doxed
I had
himself.
Maya behind the camera directing, but she didn't pick that up. So she's
Probably zoomed in on it.
yeah.
That's it.
Never
Well done.
mind.
Well, there we go. Thanks for joining us. It's been a wild ride. Started off with a new chamber found in the pyramids, and we ended on a 7-0 defeat for Man United. How
Yeah.
we got there, you'll have to see and watch that back and listen to it back. You don't know.
Yeah.
It's a wild ride. But thanks for being here with us, and we'll see you in the next one up the APMA.
See